Hi again, students. This is our second video with regards to the big picture assignment research. Wanted to just to go further now from what we've just done, which was create a little template for ourselves in order to organize ourselves to keep the information that we need to keep with regards to writing our document. What I'm going to do now is show you some examples of, as you write the document, how to use the information that has been provided here in our MS Word table that we've created to create the paper and to properly, of course, APA cite our sources. So again, I wanted just to bring in the sample paper that I used when I talked about this information during the class, and I used, of course, Greenland Country Haven as my example paper. We've already gone through the APA cover page, so we're just going to get right to the contents of the paper itself. So I only wrote the first page to show you an example, and throughout this page I tried to use various examples of APA style to complete the first page. As well, because I use various examples of APA style, I did use a reference section as well. And because I used a reference section as well, I will talk about those reference sections. So the first helpful hint that I will give you with regards to making APA style and writing your paper is to look at, first of all, using an example I gave you in class of how to do citation, and that is with this website here called Citation Machine. This was a website that I used when I was a student at Algonquin, but also in my graduate school. And it is pretty much 99.999% accurate with creating APA style. If I was to make something APA, I would make sure that APA was turned on, of course, and because there's other forms of reference style, and then I would go ahead and use what I would need to use. I would be guessing that the majority of you will be using websites and personal communications, which will be interviews. You might use other things as well, but I think we'll concentrate mostly on those. And a lot of you may use pamphlets or brochures as well. And I think it's important that that you look at how to properly cite those as well. And all of that is actually in the APA Citation Machine website. And I'll give you a couple of examples as we go through the rest of this video section. Number one, as you go through this, I want you to first and foremost look at your communications courses. You have a textbook through your communications course, and you have your professor in communications who has been working with you with regards to properly in text and, of course, in referencing citation using APA style. Please refer to that book and refer to your notes from those courses as you also use the Citation Machine website as well. All right, so let's look at the paper for a second, and let's just go down and see what I've done, and then we'll have a look at other things you could do as well. So as you notice, and I'll show you the website that I got this information from. This is Greenland Country Haven's website, and this is the home page of their website, which gives me a series of other links to go through their website. But this is when you first open up Greenland Country Haven. This is what you get with regards to Greenland Country Haven and what it's all about. There's not a lot of information, but there's actually enough information there for me to help me write my page with some assistance with other maybe websites, maybe some books or whatever, or even interviews, which is what I've used. So we'll just hold on to that for a second. As you can see here, I actually did use their website right away, and that's the services website, and I've paraphrased. This is their actual website here, in-text citation. So here's services. I read their services, and then I paraphrased, and you'll see how I've done that at the end of the paper with regards to the website page. But right here I've actually done a block quote, and that's because I've actually used word for word information from their website. And I'll show you where I've gotten that from. And that is from Welcome to the New Divisions section of excuse me, Greenland Country Haven. And I'm just pulling that up. I'm having a little difficulty here, so I'm just going to go right down to the bottom and get that right from my reference page. There it is here. I've lost that website, so I'm just going to call it up real quick. There it is there. And so you'll see Welcome to the New Divisions, Respite in Kempville. And this is word for word from the actual paper. And so because it's word for word, 50 acres of rolling, etc., etc., I've had to ensure that I've used the block quoting, and of course here it is here, that's the title, and as you see there's no date because there is no date on the website. The website doesn't have a copyright date, so I can't use copyright, or I can't use a date. Okay. Now, because this might look a little different to you, and I just want to explain why I decided to put the actual URL in brackets here versus how I do the in-text citations here on the rest of the paper. And that's because I'm just kind of referring to the website. I'm not actually using information from the site. So because I'm not using information from the site, but I'm just referring that I'm going to express my own opinion from reading the website. And so now, because I've done that, I can just put in the URL in text to say, well, according to their website, here's my opinion. This agency offers day programs, respite, assisted daily living, etc., etc. Here is a personal communication, which is an in-text citation only and no reference site. And then, of course, I use something from Deborah McLean, and I use something from the Ministry of Community and Social Services. And so, because I've done all of that, I do have to put whatever I've used in the reference section here. So the Ministry of Community and Social Services, the title of our services, and of course the Welcome to the New Divisions of Greenland Country Haven. And again, you'll see all that right here on their websites. So you have services, and here's the services that are offered, the profile, the contact information, everything that I need, all here through the website, and here is that the new divisions section as well that I talked about. So that that is pretty much how I used it in my paper with the one page. If I was to go further, I'm sure it'd be much more. Now, a couple of more things that I did want to talk about to you, and that is other things that you may use. I've talked about the two main items, but the third item or even a couple of more items that you may use could be newspapers or brochures or pamphlets. Pamphlets and brochures are literally the same thing usually when it comes to information gathering. And I want to make sure that you know how to also in-text citation those. As you know, I've posted for you under the assignments button in the big picture assignments folder a number of resources for you, a number of links to go to. And a lot of that is APA information as well. But again, if you are using the Citation Machine website, all of that is also here for you to just help you easily do it. Let's say that you decide to use a newspaper, and there's a newspaper clipping that you want to use. Well, if you're under APA, instead of using book, magazine, or website, you just click on the newspaper link, and you just go ahead and start filling in the information that you need to fill in, and the citation machine will actually create the APA for you. If you were to use, let's say, a pamphlet, you would use the brochure link here, because they don't have pamphlet listed, so it's under brochure. And if you click on brochure under the other tab of APA, you just again fill in the information that you have from the brochure, and it would create a brochure APA citation, and then you'd be fine to go. Of course, this is Americanized, so under state you would be putting province. Quite easy. So that's how you would do it. Once you've done all this, and once you've created all of your APA information, and you've completed your paper, and you double check to make sure that you have everything correctly in text citation and reference section, then you're going to go ahead and go to the link that I provided and do the survey before you submit your paper. Once you do that, you'll find that it actually wasn't that difficult to do, and it actually will save you quite a lot of time, especially if you continue to use the document that we created here. So that's it for video 2.